Hi everyone, welcome to Tony Fox Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. Great to have you with me. Today we are looking at friendships and what is going on between you and your friend. So we'll dig down deep into this particular reading and have a look and see what the situation is between the both of you. How does this person think and feel about you? How do you think and feel about them? What are the circumstances between you? Where is this all going in terms of a timeline? What's an outcome as to a final point of resolution to whatever it is that's going on between the both of you? We'll have a look at all of that and more. And before we get started, if you want to go down below and hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon, that'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. Please like and share this video where you can. And if you are interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of info about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. So before you on the screen, we've got 4 different cards to choose from today, and the idea is to choose a card that resonates with you really clearly. Once you've made that choice, that will be your reading. It's perfectly fine to choose more than one card if it comes through really strongly for you today. And just remember, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave behind anything that doesn't. We've got card 1, 2, 3, and 4. Taking a moment to be with the cards, drawing in a nice deep breath, and as you release the breath, listening to your intuition, your inner voice, and the energy of the cards. Which of these comes through for you the strongest today? Is it card 1, 2, 3, or 4? Down below, there are 4 different timestamps representing each of these different cards. If you want to go to the one that you've chosen, I'll see you in a moment. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 1. This is your reading and we're looking at friendships today. So what's going on between you and this other friend of yours? Let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on up here with the Moon and the King of Pentacles. I feel like something's been said by this person. That they've said something that's been really offensive or out of order. There's an arrogance that comes through here with the King of Pentacles. It's as though they're kind of looking at you down their nose and maybe talking down to you or being really condescending or saying something that was just a little bit arrogant or definitely hurtful, but they're not getting it. I don't feel like they're getting what it is that they've done. They're not listening to you either. I feel like this person is very, very much blocking you out in terms of listening to you. So they're not hearing what you're saying, listening to how it is that you're feeling, looking at your perspective as to what's going on in a way that gives them a greater context as to what their actions have been all about for you. It's all about them, in fact. King of Pentacles, I kind of feel like this is very much about this person's ego, their need to be pandered to be followed, to be looked at, to be admired, to be the center of attention a lot of the time. I feel like this is somebody who is quite insecure deep down, very insecure about themselves, about what other people think of them. I think even quite insecure about their friendship with you in a way where they're just never really sure as to where they stand. There could be a little bit of jealousy that comes through here for some of you. I feel like this person finds it difficult to communicate to you at a deeper level. But they're very stubborn. I think what comes through really strongly here is that they are very stubborn about their point of view. So they're not backing down, they're not listening to you, they're not hearing you, and they're ignoring the facts as well. I feel like it's, like you could give them, like clear evidence, but they just won't take it on in a way where they would actually accept that their responsibility is to apologize. What I feel very strongly here is that this person's been very worried about where this has all been going with you, what it is that they've been accused of doing, and it's almost like they're digging their own grave. It's like what they did in the first place was actually quite bad. I feel like they've said something. I feel like they've said something to you that was insensitive, arrogant, out of order. It just feels like they've used the situation in a way where they've ignored how this might impact upon you. And if you go a little bit deeper into that, I think that this is something that they've done quite a lot, because it's very much about who they are as a person. Their insecurity rises up, and they have a tendency to want to make themselves feel better than everybody else. Feel better about themselves than everybody else. I think, their insecurity gets the better of them. But deep down, they're very worried about it. If we come down here to death and the 9 of Pentacles, I feel like the context of this is that you've responded in a way where you feel that this has gone very deep into the core of your experience. I think you're a very sensitive person. You can see that here with the 9 of Pentacles. There's a very self-reflective process that's been happening with you. I think this has hit very hard and it's taken the wind out of you. It's really caused you to think, gosh, like, where's this going with this friend? Like, because if they're going to behave like this, I can't put up with that. That's not something that is acceptable. I feel it's almost like a brutality that comes through here with these 2 cards, especially with death. It's like whatever it is that they've done or said, or however it is they've acted, it's really affected you. And I think you've taken deep offense. And I think you've been very hurt by it. I felt maybe for some of you, confided in another person or in a small group of friends who might know this person. And I feel like you're getting confirmation, affirmation that it's not you. I feel like there are previous experiences that are coming through here that justify your position, and also which vindicate you and validate you in terms of the actions of this other person. I feel like you've had to resort to a sanctuary to find safe space with people, and also to reflect on what's happened for yourself. I feel like you've withdrawn from this friend. I feel like you may be withdrawn from the group of friends that are associated with this person. A lot of self-reflecting going. I think it's kind of, you're weeding out who's really close to you as well here. Like, who's standing with me? Who's standing by me? Who can I talk to? And I think there have been moments where you think, God, is it me? Have I actually done something to warrant this? Have I done something to actually deserve what this person's done to me? I think that's why it's been really necessary to get some context with a more objective point of view with other people or outside influences to see what other people have to say. I think this has driven you to a point where you've sort of thought, but there's a love here for this friend. Like, you have history. You can see that here with the 9 of Pentacles. I kind of feel like you have a lot of growth in this relationship, that you stood the test of time, that you've had difficulties that have challenged the both of you, and that you've both come through those situations in a way where it's actually really solidified the relationship. So to kind of get to this point of saying, well, maybe I should move on. Like, it's a big deal, because you stand to lose a lot in terms of what you've invested into this person. But I feel here with death and the 9 of Pentacles is, like that sense of I can't believe that it's actually come to this. That there's too much to lose perhaps, but that I'm having to think about moving on. Up here to the Hermit and the 8 of Pentacles. Back up to the friend and where they're at this point in time. I just don't feel like they're showing any remorse. Burying their head in the sand here, you can see this with the Hermit. They're very pulled back, concentrating on other things in a way that is quite determined just to kind of move on from the experience. Isn't connecting to you in a way where they're having a dialogue or showing you some sensitivity as to what it is that's happened, in a way where they are aware of their actions. They're just getting on with it like it never happened, really. I feel that this person has not been open to talk about it, that they've had other priorities that they've been concentrating on. You're at the back of the queue, right? I think that this is actually even more hurtful now. Like the context of what happened is pretty bad, but in light of that, to kind of be almost dismissed or to be at the bottom of the list in terms of priorities is even more hurtful. It stings. I don't feel this person is open to talking about it. I feel, if anything, they're bunkering down. They're doubling down. You know, they're just really concentrating on just getting on with it. They're ignoring it, preoccupied with everything else in a way where they're acting like it never happened. Ignoring it, ignoring you. This person can't look at you. I don't feel like this person can look at you. I don't feel like they're able to engage with you in a way that acknowledges the actual friendship, let alone what's happened. I think what happened in isolation, if you had a conversation about that, you could maybe work through it. To be completely ignored is definitely very difficult to deal with. This is not the first time this has happened. I felt that before. I feel like this person has been in this situation before and they have a history of doing this type of thing. Other people have experienced it. Their actions have been witnessed before. I'll come down here to the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Swords. I feel this is very much about where you're at this point in time. I feel like you're totally over it now. Queen of Swords shows a lot of grief, pain. Like, you know, it's quite deep. I feel like perhaps even for some of you, maybe feeling a little bit revengeful, like just wanting to get back at this person, feeling bitter about it, very hurt that it happened. There's a lot of grief. I feel like you're playing over it and over and over it in your mind. You know, the wheel keeps spinning. Queen of Swords is definitely a card of pain and sorrow. And I feel like you're very angry one moment, maybe really sad the next, then feeling really kind of, you know, revengeful at another. But it's like bitterness comes through quite strongly here. At the very least, it's hurt. I think that you're seeing this person through your mind at this point in time as somebody who's very unpredictable and untrustworthy. Trust is gone. You've lost it. It's kind of like you've reached a point in your mind where it's like you cannot see how this can be resolved unless this person makes a full apology and shows you through not only their words and their intentions, but their actions that somehow this could be redeemable. Like it's kind of all gone out the window for you. And I think in some ways you've started to let go. If not, for some of you, maybe you fully let go. The only way forward for you is to cut loose. I think the difficult part about where this is at this point in time is that there's a lot of, like the wound is deep and there's no recourse. And I feel like you feel very isolated and alone because this person has just been blocking you out. They might have been blocking you out on social media, not responding to you on texts or calls, or just, you know, communicating, but it's superficial. It's not going deeper into some experience that actually gives you a sense of feeling, you know, like they're not present. Definitely not present. I feel like you want to revenge yourself, but also at the same time, you just want to move on. You know, so you're kind of like, you know, sort of on the cusp of it. You know, like at the end of the day, I just think you feel that you've got no more to give to this person, to this situation. I come up here to the Magician and the King of Cups because where is this going? What's the outcome here? I really feel here with this person that they are going to, in the future, opening the doorway. I feel like this person is actually going to come to a full realization of what they've done. That they're going to show a very different side of themselves all of a sudden. It will reveal something that is very heartfelt. It'll be inspirational, it'll be out of the like it'll come out of the blue. All of a sudden you'll get a message or get a call or a knock on the door. And this person is going to want to communicate with you in a very heartfelt way. They're going to reach out to you, make a very assertive effort. And I feel that you'll get an apology here. It will come to them overnight in a dream or in a moment of realization or in a conversation that they're having with somebody else. They could just be standing there in the line getting a coffee. And it's just like, well, what have I done? You know, like I need to sort this out because there's a realization that they really love you. And they're going to put it all on the table in a way that gives you some form of apology. They're going to confess where they've gone wrong in a way that they don't want to lose you as a person, as a friend. They're going to pull out all the stops here and give you their all. And I feel like here, down here with the Emperor and the Ace of Wands, like for you, I feel like you will say yes and accept their apology, but it will be very conditional. You can see here, especially with the Emperor, like it's about your rules, it's about your boundaries. It's the Ace of Wands is definitely saying yes to the situation. It's a new beginning, putting new energy into this friendship, but you're going to stand your ground in a way that says, look, I'm going to lay down the law here. You can't do this to me again. It's a red line. And I think it's very much about knowing what you want and what you don't want through this experience, and that you'll raise the bar to remind them that it is unacceptable to do what they did to you ever again. I think that that's actually right. I also want to come back here to the Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Swords. I do feel that you are super sensitive to trust and breaches of boundaries. Historically, I think that you've actually had a lot of problems with people who have hurt you. It's a very sensitive fact. It's a very sensitive subject. But what's drawn you to this person up here with the Magician and the King of Cups? This person is actually quite real and genuine deep down. They have a really good heart. They're actually a good person. And I feel a big part of the difficulty back over here to the Moon and the King of Pentacles is that this is somebody who is quite troubled with their own insecurities about themselves. It doesn't excuse their behavior, but it certainly gives you context as to why they may have done what they've done. I felt sorry means sorry in this particular situation, and you are accepting their apology in the future, but don't hold on to any bitterness, and don't feel that you should, what I'm trying to say here is don't project that this could happen again. It's about learning through what it is that's happened, accepting it, and moving on. And I feel like, a big part of what you're doing here is asserting yourself in a way that says, look, like I'm not prepared to be hurt like that ever again. But at the same time, I feel that it's very important to take this apology, to take the context as what's going on in a wholehearted way, because there's a good person here who really is a good friend deep down. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon, it'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you are interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of info about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 2. This is your reading and we're looking at your friendship with this other person. So let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on. Now we're down here with the Tower and the Two of Wands, looking into the past. I feel like you've had a fallout with this friend that has led you to really think about where your friendship is going. I feel like there's been a difference of opinion, or a difference of perspective, or a different take on things. I don't feel like you're seeing eye to eye here, and that it's led to some kind of a demise in terms of the connection that you have with this particular person. I think you tried to offer perspective to this person, to reinstate everything, to recover the situation in a way that shows them that you didn't intend to do anything bad or wrong, that you didn't mean to offend them or hurt them. I feel like whatever you've tried to say, that this has not been listened to, that it has not been heard. If anything, everything that you have said has kind of just led it to one step further of the whole situation coming undone. Yeah, I don't feel like you've been able to do anything to recover this situation. I feel like there are differences of opinion, different points of view, different perspectives on what is that's happened here. And that you never intended anything wrong here. Like you didn't intend to do anything bad. I feel like an honesty is coming through here from yourself. I think actually what I really feel like is happening here for some of you is that it's like you never meant it to be how it is that they've taken it. And also, I don't feel like you can quite see why it is that they're going there or why it is that this is happening. I don't think that you see the basis for things going so wrong. And that you've taken it for granted that everything should be okay because in your mind, this isn't a drama, right? People fall out all the time and, over silly little things. And perhaps, maybe that's what this is. And I feel like you're giving this time and space, that you're allowing perspective, that you're taking a step back. I don't feel like you're backing down because I don't feel like you think that you've done anything wrong. But you're definitely trying to create space, time. I feel like you're going away, maybe trying to come back to the situation in a way that offers new perspective. But again, I don't feel that, like, that's not sitting right. I don't feel like it's adding into anything that supports what's going on. Come up here to Justice and the Queen of Swords. I feel like this is a good place to start with your friend looking into the past. It's like they've taken whatever it is that's happened in such a personal way. They've taken it to heart and they've made it all about them. I feel that your friend is very hurt and that they're very stuck on a point of view or very stuck on a perspective that is very narrow. I feel like when I look at the way that you're looking at things, there's a broadness here with the Two of Wands and the Tower. I kind of feel like you have you're abreast of it. Like you really have a scope as to what's going on from a very holistic perspective. You're looking at it from all different angles. Whereas your friend is looking at it from the point of view that they've been hurt. They're stuck on this point of view. It's very technical as well. You can see that here with Justice. And they're making a case against you in a way that says, you have hurt me. You have done something to me. It's like they feel victimized. I feel a lot of grief coming here with the Queen of Swords. They're not able to let it go. They're really stuck on this situation, on this point of view, on certain facts that seem to build a case against you and against what's happened in a way that vindicates them. You can see here with Justice and the Queen of Swords, they're really stacking a case against you in a way that says, I'm right and you are wrong. It's very black and white. Again, there's no broader perspective. There's no holistic understanding. It's a very narrow point of view that's sharply focused on you and everything that's wrong. It's very negative. And I feel like it's a bit of a race to the bottom in terms of the way that they're handling it. It's like they've just completely gone on the defense. They've got their back up and they've kind of backed themselves into a corner. I don't feel like this friend is really able to dig themselves out of this situation. It's like because they're making it into such a drama and they're making it all about themselves that they're forgetting what's actually really going on, more broadly speaking. I get that they are being immovable here. It's like a very fixed point of view. Very stuck in facts, very stuck on technicality. I don't feel that this friend has taken what you said or what it is that's happened in the spirit of things. I think they've missed the point. I feel like it's lost on them. You never did anything to try and hurt them. I just don't feel like you're coming from a bad place here, but I feel like your friend has just felt very victimized. I feel like this person has a history of it. You can see here with the Queen of Swords, this is a person who's very sensitive to feeling victimized. They're very sensitive to feeling hurt. They hold on to things. They get very stuck on certain points. They get very stuck on perspectives that always lead back to them in a way that makes them feel that everybody is against them. And that their only way to kind of get out of that situation or to justify their point of view is to kind of make a case against everybody. Come down here to the World and the Ace of Wands. I feel like where you're at right at this particular point in time, I feel like you're trying to reignite the friendship in a way that is offering an olive branch. You're trying to put your best foot forward and reaching out to this friend in a very positively intended way. I kind of feel like a wholeheartedness coming through here with the World. You're looking at this as a perspective of trying to successfully create a new beginning here with the Ace of Wands. I feel like you're putting good energy into this situation. There's lots of positivity. I don't feel that you feel that this is a lost cause. I feel like you're reaching out wholeheartedly. I feel like this friend means the world to you in many ways. I feel that you're also taking into consideration of how it is they think and feel. Maybe you've got a bit of an idea as to how your friend really is deep down. And you're always looking at the bigger picture. You can see that here with the Two of Wands and with the World. Like, your perspective is you know, it's the game plan, it's the big picture. You're not getting stuck on points that kind of hold you up. You're looking broadly at the situation in a way where you have faith that everything will work out in the end. I don't feel that at this point in time you believe for one moment that things could go wrong or that there's too much at stake. This person means the world to you. I feel like you're positively engaging with them and that you're trying to reignite the friendship, definitely. But if we come up here to the Chariot and the Four of Pentacles, I feel like your friend is just like they're doubling down. They're doubling down. There's an inflexibility that comes through here with these two cards. This friend has their back up and they're not backing down. I feel like this is somebody who is very indignant about what it is that's happening, that they believe that they are right. You know, the Chariot is a card of success orientation. It has very strong willpower. It believes that it's right. It thinks that it can do whatever it wants to do and win. It's a triumphant card. And the Four of Pentacles is a card that's very grounded in that particular point of view. I kind of feel that your friend is digging their heels in, that they are not prepared to back down, that they are moving onwards in a way where they believe that they are still right and that they will succeed in making this just. There's an arrogance that comes through here for me in a way that says this person is dismissing you, that they're not listening to you, that they're not giving you the time of day. It's very much, I'm right, you're wrong. There's an inflexibility to listen to you and to see what it is that's going on. It's very much about them and what they want to achieve here. They've closed down on you, they're blocking you out. You know, it might be that they're not taking calls, not answering messages, not listening to you on social media, blocking you on social media perhaps. Where's this all going? I feel like over here with Strength and the Nine of Swords that you will see that this person really means business. You know, like in a way where you'll feel the wrath of their negative intent. I think that, you know, you're opening the doorway here into the future and really taking it on and feeling that this person is being really vindictive, really hurtful, very mean. I feel like this person could be making a case against you in a way where they're including other people in that, you know, trying to get people to see it through their point of view, trying to get people to back them up on what it is that they're doing, trying to justify their actions, justifying the fact that they're being really mean or really negative towards you. And I feel like that's going to build and build and build over a period of time to the point where you're going to take it on and start to second guess yourself and think that maybe that you've actually been wrong here. You know, the Nine of Swords is a card that really feels out of control with the way it's thinking and feeling. You know, it sees nothing but negativity in what's going on. The swords are reflecting back on the past as to what is that's happening, and you're starting to think maybe I did do something wrong here. Maybe I'm out of order. Maybe I need to be accountable. And I felt here with Strength, you know, which is a card of health, that this is going to really affect your mental health. This is actually a very toxic situation because you are feeling the pile up of negative intent land upon your shoulders in a way where this friend of yours has every intention to bring you down on that particular level. You know, they want to get back at you. This is about revenge. This is all about them. They're very much stuck on their own point of view and about what it is that they think you've done. They have a case against you and they want justice. You know, they want to see you suffer. You know, I feel here with the Queen of Swords, you know, it's a card that can be incredibly revengeful, very hurtful, very sharp with words. very sharp in terms of their intent. You know, it's an unforgiving nature. I feel that as an outcome here in the future, as the balance here, that you will really start to take this on and feel this from an energetic point of view, but also in terms of their actions. Maybe, you know, maybe if other friends stop talking to you, or maybe this friend of yours just makes it really known to you that you are targeted and that you're going to feel quite weakened by that, and that that's really going to play on your mind. And then over here with the Lovers and the Two of Cups, I feel as an outcome, as a final outcome here, I feel that the two of you will come back together, that there will be some kind of recourse to rebalance perspectives, that you'll see things from each other's point of view, that there is an apology from both sides. I feel co-alignment comes back into play here in a way where your friendship is rekindled and the two of you find love for each other once again. I feel like there is full forgiveness here, and that you find the heart of the friendship in a way that you had always hoped that you would. I have to say here that this friend, I feel, will see things from your point of view finally, and that they will validate that, and that the two of you will profess that you never meant to harm each other or hurt each other. So I feel like the outcome here, if you just leave things as they are, will actually arrive you at a point where this friendship really does come back into balance. But I have to have some words of caution here. I feel that this is only because your friend finally gets what it is that they want. They want to take you down. They want to see you suffer. That's their whole intention. They are not going to come to you with an apology and accept this friendship back into the fold until they feel that they have justification, justice. They want to see you fall. I think that you have to be very careful with that, because this friend is dramatizing a situation that makes it all about them. You never meant to do anything wrong here. You never had any ill intent. You never tried to undermine your friend or do anything wrong in a way that warrants this kind of behavior. And for me, I really question the intentions of this friend. I think if you come back over here to the Queen of Swords, this is a very hurt person who is very sensitive to being hurt. And I think that you have to handle them with kid gloves and be quite careful as to whether you can really trust them, because a good friend would not want to see you suffer. A good friend would accept your apology and know straight from the get-go that you never meant to do anything wrong. Be careful here. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 3. This is your reading and we're looking at friendships today. So let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on with you and your friend. Now, looking to the past over here at the Tower and the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like you have always been there for this person in a really solid way. There to lend a helping hand, jumping in at the deep end when things are going wrong with this person. I feel like it's a rocky ride with this person. It could be lots of ups and downs, very erratic, very dramatic at times. I feel like this person slips into crisis very easily. I feel here with the Ace of Pentacles in the Tower that you're a very stabilizing factor in this person's world. I feel like you've been there for them very solidly for a long period of time. It's like you're a backbone to the relationship between the both of you. But you're very much a backbone to the person that you're friends with, because I just feel here that you really put your money where your mouth is. I think it's a very unconditional approach to friendship, that if you have to save the day, you'll drop everything and actually be be there for that person in a way that is full capacity, mentally, emotionally, practically, financially. I think you keep things really grounded. You keep the relationship between the both of you very steadfast. I think a lot of that's to do with just your approach with people and to your way of doing things. So yeah, I feel like you've been a huge support to them over various situations. They've called upon you in a way where you've just responded without having to really think too much about it. Up here with the world and the Ace of Swords, I feel like your friend is very caught up in themselves. I feel that internally there's always something going on for them in a way where they can't see the wood for the trees. Very needy friend who needs a lot of support, who needs guidance, who can't really see a lot of what's going on around them in terms of the input into their world, not just by you, but by other people as well. I think they become quite short-sighted, very self-absorbed. There's a lot of drama here, with the Eight of Swords. I kind of feel like it's just one thing after another, and kind of leads to a situation where this person just doesn't see the greatest potential in their own world, let alone in what's going on between the both of you as friends. It's backwards in going forwards. A lot of personal problems, very caught up in themselves, always looking at things very negatively as well. Things can be absolutely amazing. It can be a glass half full, but they'll see it as a glass half empty. I think sometimes they just don't know how good they've actually got it. There's a sense that they take their circumstances for granted. They take the people who are around them for granted. They certainly take you for granted at times. Always failing to show appreciation of what it is that you're doing. Failing to see what you're actually contributing to this friendship. This is an inhibited and very complex person. I think they see a lot within themselves. When I say this, I kind of feel like they have got a lot to bring to the friendship. I don't think that the both of you would be friends unless that was actually the case. But it's very much about how they see things. It's very much about how they experience things. It's like they're always coming first, Their needs are always greater. A lot of drama, a lot of personal problems. I think this is somebody who fails to thrive on their own 2 feet, standing up and doing it alone. It's not easy for this person. I do feel for this person. I feel like they've actually had a difficult run of it. I don't feel like they've come up so easily through life. I think there's been a lot of twists and turns for them that are made for a very thwarted, developing evolutionary experience in terms of their understanding of themselves and what's going on around them. But the problem here is that they tend to make their problems your problem because of their neediness. It's not that they're doing that in an assertive, specific way. It's just that they get caught up in themselves, yeah? Over here to the Emperor and the Queen of Wands, I feel more recently that this friend has become quite insensitive to you. I feel like they're not there for you in a way that steps up to the responsibility of the friendship. They're not putting in the efforts. I feel like things aren't so bad at the moment for this particular person. I think it ebbs, what I've described before and where it is now, I think it ebbs and flows between quite sort of, quite dramatic and not so bad. And I think at the moment it's not so bad, but there's a different side of them that seems to be coming through. Always distracted by their own agenda, which is largely the case anyway, but it's more like they're shunning you, or they're not giving you the time of day. They're not looking you in the eye and telling you the truth, is what I feel. It's kind of like they're dismissing you, or maybe being a bit lazy about what it means to upkeep the friendship in a way that adds on to these other experiences that I've described, so that you can feel validated at a deeper level. I feel like they're very busy with other priorities. They're very busy with their own agenda. They're doing their own thing in a way that is dismissive of you. I feel like sometimes they're saying that they just don't have time, when in actual fact, that's not the case, that they actually do have time. But they say this and it makes you feel like they are being lazy or apathetic, or that they're not telling you something. You know, maybe I feel like I've done something wrong, but I'm not sure what that is, because this person's not stepping up to kind of, you know, go into a deeper connection to tell me what the problem is. Yeah. Very dismissive is what I feel. You know, you're trying to address specific things that might be about your relationship with them, or things that you want to do, or you want to put on the agenda in terms of, you know, what it means to be friends and what you're all about together. But that kind of gets pushed aside and it slides down to the bottom of the list. Other priorities take precedent. Yeah. And it's still very much all about them and what it is that they want. It's never inclusive of you and how is it you think and how does it you feel. There's an insensitivity that comes through here. And the Emperor is a very pushy card. I kind of feel like this person can be a bit bossy, a bit controlling, very dismissive is what I keep on getting. And but I feel like if you try to address that, you've got to really choose your battles with this person, because if you get on the wrong side of them and this Emperor energy comes through, it can be a lot to deal with. You know, like they can get a bit gritty, a bit overbearing, very controlling. I don't feel like you get to have your say in a way where they're listening to you, right? I feel like also what they're doing here is that they're justifying their lack of input. There's always an excuse. There's always a reason why they can't step up and give you what you want or be more inclusive as two friends, right? Ignoring their deeper responsibility. If I come down here to the Hermit and the Nine of Cups, I feel like for you, it's like for a really long time, you know, the Hermit sort of, you know, looks back into the past and sort of has a very deep understanding of what's going on between you and this friend in a way where, you know, you sense that it just hasn't added up for a really long time. But I feel here with the Nine of Cups, it's like, you know, you've never really been able to put your finger on it specifically. You know, there's a lot of different experiences that shapes where you've come to today in terms of this friendship. And when you look at them all together, you know that it's not right. You know that you're not happy with where it's at. You feel very isolated and alone because you're looking at this experience from how does it you feel. And this person isn't having a conversation with you that actually allows you to explore that in a deeper fashion. So I feel like you're pulled back. I feel like you're reserved. You're being very conservative here. You're not putting it all on the table in a way that says to this friend, look, you know, like I have a problem. I feel like maybe you're avoiding that even for some of you. There's just a sense here that if you push too hard into this experience, that it makes it a bit more emotional and that this friend isn't going to deal with you on that particular level. That perhaps you'll be shut down, dismissed, blocked. A lot of reflective process going on here in terms of what doesn't feel right. You know, the Hermit, you know, there's a real sort of sage, spiritualized understanding within you that really gets who this person is. And I think also you've reached a point here where you're saying, I think I've come to a limit. You know, like I think I've come to a bit of a dead end with who this person is and how it is that they're actually dealing with me. And I don't have anything else to throw into the ring, because at the end of the day, this person's not stepping up. Unless they step up, you know, maybe I'm just going to have to let this slide. You know, maybe I'm just going to have to leave it with them to figure it out because I've done all that I can do. Yeah. I've given all it is that I can give. And the thing is, I've given so much that I'm not actually getting anything back. And so to kind of give anything more to it, it's just like, it's kind of leaving me without more. So I feel like you're unable to get through a barrier with this person. You know, you'd like to lift the veil on what's going on, but at the end of the day, it's not really your responsibility to kind of spell it out, so to speak. Yeah. So where's this all going in terms of an outcome? I feel like for you over here to Death and the Five of Wands, I feel like you're going to let this friend go. Ending linked to a new beginning here with death. I kind of feel like you're letting this friend go. You're moving on. You're going to kick it into the long grass in some ways, but as a consequence of that, it's like, I'm done here. And I feel this is almost like a big sort of change of strategy for you. I think you've been so invested in this person, you've been there as a support all the way through, but finally you've figured out for yourself that there's no more that you can really give or do for them. So I feel that you're not going to get any further involved at a personal level. I feel like there's a lot of other people around you here in the balance in the future over the next 4 months. I feel like there are other friends, other people who know this person, who are validating your experience. They're throwing their 2 cents worth into the experience in a way that says, look, this is what's happened for me. This is how it is that I found this particular person, which kind of validates your reasoning for moving on in a way. I feel like you're feeling validated. You're finding shared experiences that give you a bigger understanding of what this person is all about. I think a big part of what you're also doing here is avoiding confrontation with this particular friend, but you've also realized that it's too much effort. You want to leave drama out of the equation. You don't want to be exhausted any further. And so I kind of feel like you're really focusing on other people, concentrating on new experiences with different friends, maybe people that you haven't seen for a really long time, because this other friend, they have a lot of baggage. There's a lot of weight to them in terms of them pulling you back, pulling you down. And, it's very needy. It's exhausting. It's all consuming, because when something goes wrong with this person, it's all hands on deck. They need you, and it's crisis. Yeah. In their mind, they're always on the precipice, always on the cusp of something going really, really wrong. And it's very dramatic energy that takes a lot to deal with. And whereas I feel like here into the future, you're moving into experiences where you're sharing with other people in a way where it's just a lot more fun. I feel like you're out in the mix, being challenged by new experiences, seeing new personalities, catching up with old friends that you haven't maybe seen for a really long time, getting lots of new perspectives by surrounding yourself with different people. And so I kind of feel like it's sort of moving into new territory for you here. And the outcome here with strength and the 4 of Wands with this other friend, I kind of feel 4 months onwards, over a very long period of time, I feel this person enters into a very new way of understanding the friendship between you and them. Strength is the card of healing. I feel like this person has done some work on themselves in a way where they begin to raise their awareness, raise their understanding of who it is that you are and the importance of the friendship that they had with you. I feel like this person is finding themselves in a way where they're in a much healthier place. And the 4 of Wands, I feel like they're stepping up into something that's just much more co-aligned in terms of the 2 experiences that you have as individuals. I feel like this person is reaching out to you in a way where they're going to make an equal effort, giving back to you in a reciprocal way. And I don't feel like it's just around that time. I kind of feel like it's about rebuilding trust for me. I feel like this person is actually going to understand where they've gone wrong. I don't see the same degree of self-absorption here. I feel like this person has grown up a bit. They've taken responsibility to own their problems, to do something about their health. For me, there is mental health stuff going on here with this person. Back over here to the 8 of Swords. For this person has got a lot of stuff historically to sort out. They are very caught up in themselves. They are very dismissive of you at this particular time because they know that they've come to a point here with the Emperor and the Queen of Wands that they don't have what it takes to give you what it is that you need. They aren't able to meet you halfway. They aren't able to respond in a reciprocal fashion that is, taking the responsibility to be the friend that they want to be to you, but they don't know how to be with you because they've never thought outside of the box. They've always been self-absorbed. And they've reached a limit with that. You can see that with the 8 of Swords. They know that they're not stepping into a more successful way of being with you. They're so caught up in themselves, but they're aware of that. They are aware of that. So they are avoiding you in terms of feeling perhaps they don't want to be shown up. that they don't want to have to face too much at this particular time. But back over here to strength and the Four of Wands, I feel that there is sustained and measured growth over a very long period of time. I felt 4 months this would begin, and then over a 4-year period, like I'm talking a long period of time, that this friend would really prove themselves to you. Show themselves to be worthy as a friend. Communicate to you that you are worthy, that of your worth to them, yeah? To validate the experiences that they've had with you, but which you have given to them, yeah? I feel that what you're doing here is almost an intuitive and natural response to a situation that you know that you can no longer give anything else to. It is an ending linked to a new beginning here with death, not just in terms of the way that you're dealing with your friend, yeah, but also with your ability to move on and have new experiences, to find stimulation that actually feeds back into your cup so that you feel that you're actually getting something back out of life. Give this friendship some patience. Give it a little space, a little bit of room to grow. Sometimes letting go isn't such a bad thing. And I feel the most important thing to remember here is to keep open to what this friend will grow into the future. I feel that there are still good things to come, and this friend will actually reciprocate in a way that validates the friendship that you have with them. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of info about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 4. This is your reading and we're looking at your friendship with this other person. So let's jump in and have a look and see what's going on. I'm going to start up here in the past with the Chariot and the Ace of Swords. I feel like this is a good place to start with your friend. I feel here that your friend is being a little bit in your face. I feel like it's almost like they've turned on you suddenly. Ace of Swords is definitely cutting away. It's very pointed. I feel like they've been very hurtful. And the Chariot backing onto that in a way that suggests this person has really asserted themselves in a very outright way. I kind of feel like they've turned on you, or they've been in your face in a way where they've been very hurtful. It feels like it's come out of the blue. It feels sudden. It feels bold. It feels very personal. I feel like it's gone very deep. The behavior is hurtful. The intent is very pointed. And I feel like they've gone right to the bone in a way where they've just been very spitefully motivated. I feel like this person could have lashed out for some of you. I don't feel like there's been any discussion here. I don't feel like you've seen it coming. It's like this person has just snapped. And left you reeling as a consequence because you didn't see it coming. I feel like this person has cut you off. You know, the Ace of Swords is saying, you know, I'm out. I'm done. You know, you're dead to me. It's kind of black and white behavior. And I feel like the Chariot is, this person's not saying sorry. They're not backing down. They're not giving you any opportunity for recourse, for discussion, for reasoning. It feels a little irrational. I feel like there's no ifs, no buts. It's just come out of the blue, and this person has about-faced and kind of left you reeling. I think this person can be a little bit egotistical at times, maybe have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. I feel like when you get on the wrong side of them, they can turn, they can show a side of them, a side of themselves that can be very hurtful. I feel an impatience that comes through here from this person. I feel like they are very quick to boil, and they go from 0 to 100 in a split second. And there's a real surprise factor with these two cards. I feel like this person has, used an element of surprise. Um, in a way that's caught you off guard. That's how I feel. And if I come down here to the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Swords, I feel like you've immediately responded in a way where you've fought back. You're not going to take this lying down. I feel like a lot of anger and frustration has boiled up very quickly in response to whatever it is that this person has done to you. And I feel like immediately you vented off your feelings, your anger, your frustration. I think you've had a lot of words to say to this person. Maybe you've said some things that you wouldn't usually say. I feel like you've tried to get back at them, tried to hurt them as much as they've hurt you. I feel like it's been a very reactive situation for you. And I think you've told them in no uncertain words how it is that you see them, what it is that they've actually done. I think you've tried to hold them to account. I think I kind of feel like it's almost like you're not letting them get away with it. You're chasing them down to point your finger at them, to say what you need to say to them, maybe to scream, maybe to shout, maybe just to kind of like retry and get back at them is what I feel. Indignation is what comes up here. It's like, how dare you do this to me? How dare you treat me like this? Who do you think you are to be like this? I'm not going to take this lying down. I'm going to get you back. And I feel you haven't held back in giving it to them. Like you've really gone for it. You told them what you've thought. Told them what you felt. You're offended here. I feel like you're really offended, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think you both can be as bad as each other at times. I think you're both very quick to boil, very passionate, very heated. It kind of goes from 0 to 100 in a split second for both of you. I think equally this person hasn't seen it coming in terms of the way that you've responded to them. They weren't expecting you to go so hard, to go so persistently. I feel like you've really been very persistent with this person because you don't want to let them get away with it. Your blood is boiling. You're ready to fight. The Knight of Swords is it's a very charged card that has a lot to say. It's not going to keep it in. It wants to let it out. It wants to express itself in a way that vents off. And the Wheel of Fortune, I kind of really feel like here that this is, like you didn't see it coming with this person. Like it just spun around so quickly. But equally, I kind of feel like, ever since that happened, you've not been able to let it go. You've been playing over it and over and over it in your mind. Within yourself, maybe to other people. You've not been able to let it go in terms of a topic of conversation with friends, with family, with colleagues, anybody who's got a listening ear. Not been able to let it go with this person, with your friends, chasing them down, telling them what you think, maybe getting on social media, maybe texting them, maybe calling them, maybe going to where it is that they live, where they work. Maybe not all at once. But I just kind of feel like it's an issue that you haven't been able to let slide, Up here to the Hangman and the Knight of Cups, I feel like this friend is holding out on you, since this situation. They're not giving in. The back is still up, but they have begun to soften a lot. I've got to say that. I feel this person is contemplating a lot about what it is that happened. About what you mean to them in terms of being a friend. This person really does love you. And the Knight of Cups, it's a very warm, social card that extends a feeling of love. The Hangman is definitely holding back in terms of perspective, trying to understand a deeper, I guess just like a deeper meaning as to what and who you are to this person. They love you, but I don't feel like they're ready to back down just right now. They're not ready to let what happened go. I feel like they've got a lot of other preoccupations at the moment. Friends, family, colleagues, maybe even a love interest for some people. I kind of feel like that's actually very much the center of their attention at the moment. But I feel this is not about immersing themselves in those experiences in a way where they're trying to get away from what happened between the both of you. It's more that I feel that these people offer perspective. They offer an understanding as to the situation that happened in the past and for them to get a greater understanding of who you are as a friend to them. I do feel that there is somebody very close to them who is really urging them to let their guard down, to show them what there is to lose here, to get them to understand that maybe they need to make a bit of a sacrifice and give in a little bit and make an apology to be a bit more friendly, a bit more warm to you. But essentially, I kind of feel like this person is really digging deep into this experience and trying to understand their part in what it is that happened. They're going through a very creative phase at this particular time, which is really necessary for them as an individual. I kind of feel like they're regenerating understanding, regenerating perspective, connecting with other people in a way that is really beneficial for them as a person, but also for their understanding of the relationship that they have with you. If we come down here to the Magician and the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like this is where you are at the moment. I feel like you're ready to reach out to this friend, but there's a patience that comes through here. I kind of feel that you're ready, but you're not in a rush, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like quite a lot of time has passed here. You can see that here with the Knight of Pentacles, which is a very slow-moving card. You know, it evolves at a much slower rate. I feel like your process is really kind of coming back to center in a way where your anger has subsided. You've let some time pass in a way where your perspective has really cleared. You've become more grounded is what I feel. You've got your level head back on. You've kind of come through this passionate, reactive state into a much more grounded perspective as to where things are at between the both of you. I think you really feel here with the Magician that it's your responsibility to initiate action, to take it to the next level, to be the one that instigates the process of reaching out to your friend, to take it into some kind of resolution. But you're very cautious about what happens next. I think that you're ready, but at the same time, you're just not rushing it. And it's all, I feel like an honesty is coming through here. I feel like you've got it all on the table. You're having a look at what it is that's happened here with the Magician. You know, you're looking at their side of what's happened. You're looking at your own side of what's happened. You're looking about what you want for the future. And I feel like you're ready to get back on track with this friend in a way where you try to resolve the differences, definitely. But there's a patience that's coming through, yeah, for me. I think you're just waiting for the right moment, really, to reconnect with this friend. Where is this all going? Over here to Justice and the Six of Swords. I feel like it's going to get to a point over the coming weeks where you accept your responsibility in what happened in a much more sort of full and integrated way. I feel like you're going to be the one that actually makes the offer of an apology. Definitely. And I feel like you're the one that's actually initiating the direction to put things back on track. So it's an extension of what I've already sort of discussed here with the Magician and the Knight of Pentacles. But I do feel like there's another person that's coming on board here. I felt that up here with the Hangman and the Knight of Cups with this other friend. Maybe you both have a single friend who you've really confided in. Might be that these two people form a greater, greater social network or a group of people. Maybe you all know each other, or maybe it's in isolation where you just both have a friend that you're really talking things through with. I felt that that this person would get on board. This person that you know would get on board with what's happening in a way where they really steer the both of you in the right direction. Someone who would act as like a mediator to kind of go back and forth in a way that really smooths things between the two of you in a way that maybe this is as a precursor before you kind of meet up. I kind of felt that there was somebody who was readying the situation, but who would oversee what's happening in a way where they really got the ear close to the ground on what's going on. And I kind of feel that this person really appreciates the closeness that you have with this particular friend. They see what there is to lose in a way where they want to get on board and help the both of you to kind of smooth your differences over. I think this is, like I'm describing what's happening here, but I do feel here with the Six of Swords and with Justice, I guess this is going to be a really challenging process because you've really fallen out here. I don't think that this is a small thing. It's not just like a bit of a spat. And although it's been very reactive, it's been really hurtful, very deep. And I think that the actions of both of you have really hurt each other. I definitely think that your friend has initiated what it is that's happened. I feel that that's come out of the blue. I don't feel like there's any reasoning there. I don't feel that's been addressed. But there's too much to lose here in terms of the love that you have for each other and what it is you've experienced over a very long period of time. I feel like this is a really good friendship. I feel like, like this is a really solid friendship. For some of you, I would have said that this is kind of maybe even lifelong, could go back into childhood. And if it's not that, it's definitely a sense that, this is a very connected, lifelong friendship. To fall out in this way and not to be able to resolve things would be a great loss for the both of you. So I feel that you're definitely willing here. There is a reluctance on both parts because I think this is a very hurtful situation to have to confront and to accept your own responsibilities in what it is that's happened. And to resolve those differences is going to be quite challenging and a bit of a difficult process because there's quite a lot to get through here. What's been said has been said, but it's actually been really hurtful. And the way everything's been done, it's a real affrontment to the friendship. It's like, because good friends don't do things like that unless there's a really good reason. And finding the reason, I think, is a big part of what this challenge is about, because you've got to be very honest about who said what and how it was said and why it was said and, where it was all coming from. But if I come up here to the Empress and the Six of Cups, I feel like this situation as an outcome with your friend, that they will offer an olive branch, an apology to you. And I think it'll go further than that. I think that they will really show their appreciation of you through a really just like a very warm intent. I feel like warm words are healing this rift, because I feel like this is a rift. This is big, right? I feel that this will... There's warm words, warm gestures. There's a lot of reminiscing going on here. I kind of feel like you're coming back together here with the Six of Cups and just really reliving like good times. Like you're kind of looking at things in a very nostalgic way, looking at memories. It's also a card of childhood. Again, for many of you, I felt that this could be a childhood friend. It's kind of really looking back into the past and understanding the connections that you have and what shaped your friendship. Reminiscing about good times. A very strong historic understanding here of whatever it is that you have with this friend, however long it's been. I feel like the rift is being healed here. And this is a very productive and nurturing period that promotes, healing. Again, though, here with the Six of Cups, I feel like this person in the background, I really feel like there's a friend that continues to watch over you both. Somebody who is a part of this group. It could be more than one person, but I felt that one or two people were really instrumental in bringing you both back together, and that they would keep a watchful eye over you in a way that sort of just really considered what was going on, and the intent was to keep things on track. You've got good friends together here, I feel. I feel like you're good friends together. Maybe you're the core of a group, but I feel like there is a wider circle here that really sort of integrates into what's going on here. So to have a rift here and not to be able to heal it, it would be very harmful to the greater good of the group, I feel. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this is on track to heal. And I feel that goodwill will save the day, because I think that you're both really good people. I wanted to say that. I can feel an honesty here coming through from you, the Magician and the Knight of Pentacles. I think what you see is what you get largely. And I think that you're a very solid person in terms of your steadfastness towards this particular friendship. I think you give the best of yourself to anybody who you love dearly. And the Hangman and the Knight of Cups, like it's very core to the understanding of this particular friend. And they are a really, really lovely, very creative, very sensitive person. I think it's very easy for them to get the wrong end of the stick. I think sometimes maybe they can just be a little bit too sensitive and misinterpret things in a way where they take it a little bit too personal. Perhaps something very historic has been said here that this person has taken up in a way where they've run with it and just gotten the wrong thread, gotten the wrong understanding. But I feel whatever it is that's actually triggered this, that you will all come back on track to heal and move forward in a way where everything kind of comes back into balance. Look, I hope this reading has made some sense, and if it has, feel free to leave some comments down below. It'd be great to get your feedback. Like and share this video where you can. Hit subscribe, tap on the bell icon. That'll give you notifications for any future readings that I post. And if you're interested in the services that I offer as a psychic tarot reader, you can go to www.tonyfoxtarot.com. There's plenty of information about who it is that I am, what it is that I do, and how it is you can access my service as a psychic tarot reader. Thanks very much and take care.